Back to the Future, Part 4. Chapter 1. Echoes in Hill Valley. Hill Valley, California, 2025. The town hadn't changed much. The paint peeled a little slower on Main Street. The Burger King sign was gone, replaced by a vegan fusion cafe with too many adjectives on the window. But if you squinted, really squinted, it was still the same Hill Valley Marty McFly had grown up in, the same streets he had skateboarded down, and the same steps he once ran up. The same clock tower that no one dared tear down. A monument to time, and to the one night that changed everything. Marty didn't come downtown much anymore. His life had drifted to the outer edges of town, like someone watching a party from the porch. At 56, he taught guitar lessons from the converted garage behind his house. The students came and went, mostly teenagers who didn't know who Huey Louie was, and thought Johnny B. Good was something from Fortnite. Still, he liked the quiet. He needed it, because sometimes, when the house was still, and the night crept in through the blinds, he heard ticking, not from a clock, but from inside. "Marty, that F chord's still buzzing," Ryan groaned. 17, bleached hair, eyes glued to his phone, he strummed his guitar again, loud, aggressive. "Loosen your grip," Marty said, leaning back in his folding chair. "You're pressing too hard on the second string." "I'm pressing like you said, bro." Marty sighed. He leaned over, adjusted Ryan's fingers and strummed. The chord rang out, clean, warm. "Dude, you like the guitar whisperer?" "I've been doing this a while." "Were you in a band or something, like back in the day?" Marty hesitated. Kind of. He didn't explain further. Ryan wouldn't get it. No one would. How do you explain to someone that your teenage years were a loop of paradoxes, flaming tire tracks, and a best friend who invented a time machine in a car, and that sometimes you miss it? Later that evening, Marty stood in his garage, tuning an old 1959 Gibson he'd picked up at a pawn shop decades ago. The strings were new, but the wood held memories. He plucked out a slow blues riff. It echoed through the rafters like a ghost. Then, flash! Every light in the garage flickered violently. The amp crackled. A loud pop snapped through the speakers, followed by a hum, deep, electric, subterranean. The Gibson's strings vibrated on their own. Marty stepped back. The room blurred, and for a brief second, he saw something impossible. The inside of the garage changed. The walls peeled away. The guitar rack vanished. In their place stood metal scaffolding, glowing tubes, and strange machinery. A lab covered in clocks. Then it was gone. The garage returned to normal. Marty stood frozen, hand trembling, sound of ticking echoing through his skull. "No," he muttered. "No, not again." He grabbed his phone and stepped outside. The air was hot and heavy, charged like the moment before a lightning strike. The street was quiet, normal. Too normal. Then, down at the far end of Sycamore Street, the sky rippled. Just for a second. Like heat over asphalt, but in the sky. That night, Marty couldn't sleep. He sat at his kitchen table, a half-finished cup of coffee in one hand, a worn photo of Doc Brown in the other. Doc stood next the original DeLorean, grinning in a way he always did when explaining something completely insane. He remembered the last time they spoke, really spoke. He and Clara had taken the kids, Jules and Vern, and disappeared into the time stream. "You've got your future," Doc had said, "and I've got everything else." Marty didn't know if he was dead, or in the 32nd century, or living in the Jurassic times. All he knew was the time machine was gone, until now. At 10:02 p.m, something pulled Marty from the kitchen to the car. He didn't question it, he just went. The roads were empty, streetlights flickered like candle flames. He drove towards the edge of town, past the old Bifco warehouse, now a shell covered in graffiti, and into the dead zone where Twin Pines Mall once stood. Or Lone Pine Mall, depending on your version of history. It was just a concrete now, a forgotten lot surrounded by a rusted chain-link fence. Marty parked and stepped out. Silence, then tick, a sound from the air itself. And then another, and another, faster, louder. The space around him seemed to tremble. A blue crack of light burst into the centre of the lot. Marty shielded his eyes. Wind whipped around him. Out of nowhere, a shape formed, flickering, mechanical, chrome. A vehicle, low and sleek, hovering 2 feet above the ground, lined with pulsing coils and circular vents. Not the DeLorean. Something new. It stabilised, landing with a soft hiss. Marty stared, heart in his throat. The door lifted. Steam poured out. And from the driver's seat stepped a teenage girl in black boots, a grey flight jacket, and mirrored goggles resting on her forehead. She had a wild mess of curly blonde hair and eyes that practically sparked with energy. She looked right at Marty. "You're older than I thought," she said with a grin. "Who the hell are you?" Marty asked, taking a step back. She pulled off her goggles. "I'm Jules." "That's impossible," Marty said. "Not that Jules. Her Jules. Jules Brown. Clara's granddaughter. Doc's descendant." Marty stared. No way." She pulled something from her jacket and tossed it to him. A photograph. Marty caught it. It was old. A family photo. Doc, Clara, 2 kids, and the girl standing in front of him, aged maybe 10, holding a wrench the size of her head. The caption read, "Christmas, 2011, Hill Valley, temporal copy 3. Marty's voice dropped. "What the hell is going on?" "I need your help," Jules said. "Something's wrong with the timeline. My grandfather's missing, and I think someone's hunting him across history." "Hunting?" She opened the passenger door. "Get in." I haven't done this in decades. I'm not..." Jules looked him squarely in the eye. Marty Hill Valley doesn't exist in 5 days. Not this version. Not any version. What? The clock tower melts. The school was never built. Your house gets swallowed by a sinkhole that never happened. Time is breaking, and it's starting here. The fracture point is you. Marty hesitated. Then a blast shook the lot. The fence behind them crumpled. Something roared like a jet engine in reverse. A black void opened in mid-air, and from it spilled a swarm of lights, red, electric, insect-like, chittering. Jules grabbed his arm. Too late, they've found us. Who? She shoved him into the car. The paradox swarm. They devour broken timelines. They weren't supposed to evolve this fast. The door slammed. Inside, the car hummed with power. You ready? She asked. Marty gripped the seat. What are we doing? Jules cracked her knuckles. Same thing my grandfather did. We're going to fix time. She hits the throttle. The vehicle exploded forward, the front wheels lifting as the boosters lit up. The speedometer climbed. Marty saw it tick past 60. 80. 81. Wait, he started. Jules didn't answer. She just smiled. The car hit 100 miles an hour and vanished in a flat of white light. The lot went silent. Only a pair of burning tyre tracks remained behind, glowing faintly in the concrete. End of chapter 1. If you'd like me to post chapter 2, give this video a like. If it reaches 50 likes, I'll post the next chapter. And remember to subscribe.